Good day, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live classical music channel. I hope you're having a great day. I'm coming to you from Washington, D.C. suburb, and I'm on the Sky. I'll be host of today's show. I just had a very pleasant little chat with a fox who apparently lives in our backyard. She loves classical music too, and oftentimes she comes to listen to my practicing piano. We're connecting musicians and audiences from around the globe with live music performances and news. Today, we're continuing to introduce Sound Espressivo Global Competition. The competition is designed to empower musicians with new tools, enrich with new thinking, expand horizons of what's possible, what can work in current environment, what can be a source of joy and success for a modern performing artist. Sound Espressivo online competition is where musicians are truly supported to present their unique talent, their individuality. It is an opportunity to engage with audiences and with the world in a present-day technical environment, to be reviewed and guided by well-known artists, judges from around the world. Sound Espressivo is bringing the future to the music industry, to the artists, educators, and audiences of today. Founded and managed by professional musicians, Sound Espressivo competition aims to empower artists of every instrument and all walks of life. Sound Espressivo gives an opportunity for contestants to present themselves to a supportive panel of established veterans in the field. Immediate live feedback from judges. No more silence about what and how you did well or not so well. Contestants receive unedited and uncensored comments right after they perform. They can connect with judges on a personal level. They can ask questions, can take away valuable guidance for their growth and development. No time limit, no repertory restrictions. Present yourself as an artist on your own terms. Technical support by experienced crews who will prepare your text so you look and sound great. And so you don't need to settle on compromising your presentation to fit some technical limitations. Prizes which keep giving more and more opportunities long after the competition is over. Performances, scholarships, coachings, promotional services, and a lot more. Check us out. We're presenting judges of Sound Espressivo 2021, a competition created by a community of musicians, music educators, music managers, with the purpose to make a difference for young musicians, for teachers, for parents of music students. And we welcome our audience wherever you are. Please let us know in the comments where you're coming from, what you think, what you would like to do better, for what you would like us to do better. We will put your comments on screen for our guest to respond. And now I would like to introduce our wonderful guest, Michelle Lynne. Welcome on our show, Michelle. It's a great pleasure to have you with us.
I'm honored to be here. I'm thoroughly impressed with what you're doing and the work and the vision behind the competition. So I'm very honored to take part in this.
We're thrilled. You're an amazing musician. You are a performer with an enormous background of competing, winning, and losing, I hope.
Yes.
In many competitions, with a keen knowledge of how it works, how it doesn't work, right?
Yes.
You are an artistic director, you're a social activist, you present concert series, and one of my favorite of your activities, you're a creator of a company with an absolutely stunning name, Fearless Artist Mastermind.
Yes.
Sorry, I messed up the last word.
No problem. Mastermind is actually very uncommon in the world of musicians. So part of our goal is to help musicians know about the awareness of this that exists.
Absolutely. Tell us more. Please tell us about your mission and how you came about? I have a ton of questions, but I'm going to let you take the floor. But before we get into that, what's the best way to introduce a true musician, if not by listening to their playing? Let's hear Brahms Intermezzo, Michelle Lynne performing. What an amazing performance. So serene and so meditative. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I think we had someone who liked your performance too.
Welcome, it's Carl. Oh, that's so great. Oh, it's so nice to see him.
Thank you for leaving a comment. We appreciate it.
He's very huge respect for him. He's a professor in Montreal and also Oxford University.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Hope you stay and comment more. And we would like to ask all our audience members, please let us know where you're coming from. Let us know what you think. And if you have questions, please ask those questions, because Michelle will be here and she will be able to respond. Michelle, please tell us about yourself, your mission, your work.
Yes, so we'll start, as you suggested, with the Freelist Artist Mastermind. So this is an initiative that I came up with. My co-founder, Deanna Petre, she's an American violist living in Paris. And essentially, we both came across the ocean and started our careers from scratch over here, and we quickly recognized how little tools we had to approach the real world. We learned how to play our instruments wonderfully in school, but we didn't have any business skills or mindset of how to promote yourself, how to pitch yourself, how to get concerts, how to run a studio, all the business things that we need to learn. So we just wish that we had had a group of like-minded people to really talk these issues through as we were building our careers after leaving that bubble of university. So we started the Fearless Artist 1 month before lockdown started, having no idea what was coming. And that we use Masterminds as our main offer, which is bringing like-minded musicians into small groups. We have a curriculum that we do with them. It's a 12-week program. And we go through different things that we've noticed in our careers that we really wish that we had had. Also talk through fear of failure, resilience, stage performance, all of these things that we need, and to go through with them their goal setting. And we really help the members to execute goals over the 3-month period.
That's incredible. You went through this so fast. One word really caught my attention, and if I can ask you, please, to address the fearless.
Absolutely. So
and the fear.
Yeah. So the funniest thing was there's a company in LA where they have keys that you wear as necklaces, and they have a variety of words that you can choose from, whether it's brave or courageous or joy, and fearless was an option. And back in 2017, I was at a point in my career where I didn't have a website. I didn't have Instagram. I didn't want people to think that I was arrogant. Who does she think she is to promote herself? It's very difficult to become comfortable with promoting yourself as an artist and understanding that that's part of our job, to embrace the public platform that we have. Because I think we do want to maintain humility, because we're there to serve our audiences. But at the same time, if you want to become known or hired, you need to be open and available to be found.
Exactly.
So I was wrestling with this, and I ended up choosing a key that said fearless. And I wore that key every day for 18 months until I came to the point, and I wore it under my clothes, just to remind myself, like, okay, this is really what I want to embrace. And then I came to the point where fearless it doesn't mean you don't feel fear. Of course we all do, but it's that you come to the point that it doesn't stop you anymore from making choices or decisions that will help you. So what are people going to think of me? What are they going to think of my playing? Maybe they don't like my outfit or the way I perform on stage or how I speak on camera, or all of these limiting beliefs that we tend to have, and just deciding that we're going to overcome that and be fearless.
That's a very liberating approach, and very needed for musicians. I mean, we're all aware of stage fright, stage fear, but there are many other fears of being judged on many levels, not just based on whether or not you played every note correctly on stage. And I'm so thrilled that you're addressing the fear of approaching the career as a owner of the career.
Yeah.
Really driving the career the way the artist feels suits their art and what they have to offer and how they want to serve their public.
Exactly.
This is incredible. Tell me please about how you and your partner decided to turn your experience of building your own career on your own terms into serving other musicians with the advice. What was behind that decision?
Absolutely. So Deanna and I both took part in a mastermind ourselves, and after completing the course that was offered, it was through some Juilliard friends of hers. We just thought this is so needed and necessary, and we really felt like we could bring something to this. And basically, when I talk to musicians, I've built a community on Instagram, and the things that I'm hearing is sometimes can be saddening, because I think there are solutions for this, and I see people limiting themselves. I see people stopping themselves from being able to go further in their careers because of things that there are already solutions for. Other people have achieved things in those areas. So it's a little bit like, okay, we just need some education. We need some support. We need to be there for one another. We need to help each other stop thinking bad things about their playing or what they serve with as they're playing. And just by creating this space to be safe, talk through real issues, and to discuss what's going on.
You really dug very deep into what constitutes making an artist available for others for hire or for opportunities to be able to share what we have to share, the inner wealth and our knowledge and experience and in our art. There's a very important topic for all musicians, and it's not just a topic of a conversation, it's also a part of environment. For example, if you want to offer your music for, let's say, a social network, social platform, let's say a Facebook group, and many of those groups have, even in their rules, a rule, no self-promotion. Now, I would like you to explore a little bit and maybe identify the difference between making art available and serving the audience and self-promotion.
That's a very interesting comment. I was also part of a Facebook group, a group of expat women, and that was one of the things. So they didn't want me to post my concerts in there because it was viewed as self-promotion. But I thought, how are you supposed to let people know what's available if you can't tell them about it? And it's actually not about me. The concerts aren't about me. I'm using the art as a medium to create and serve and provide an experience where people can come in and receive. So when I'm on stage, I view myself as a catalyst. The art is being revealed through me. And yes, it's me playing and it's my interpretation and it's my thoughts on it. But I'm there to create something for the listeners that they would walk out of the room and they've experienced rest, peace, inspiration. They've viewed something beautiful, which is the art that we all love. Just as when we go to the museum, I mean, is it self-promotion for a museum to say, hi, we're a museum and we're open?
That's a very good example. Yeah, so let's offer museums a solution. Keep the doors closed and
right.
Make sure you take off all the signs
no
directing people to
museums.
the door.
Right.
No promotion for museums. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So you have to be able to, this is how we hear our music. If you want to hear it live, you need an artist. And so you need to tell people that you're playing, or else, And of course, there are some artists who maybe go too far into the self-promotion, or, the music becomes about them. And that's something else. Just simply announcing your concerts is not the same.
I can't agree more. I absolutely agree with you, and especially in the modern environment, if I don't like something which shows up on my feed, I'm not chained to it. I can just close the browser and go someplace else.
Exactly. The wonderful thing is that you're in control of what comes into your eyes. So you can unfollow, you can mute, you can leave the Facebook group, or there are solutions.
Exactly, but there's still a culture against artists coming on stage and announcing, I'm an artist and I have something to offer. There's definitely a pushback from maybe the culture or maybe traditional approach to that, because artists in the 20th century were not promoted by themselves. They were almost always promoted by someone else. So
managers
it seems very superficial. You can't be promoted unless someone else says you're good.
Right.
You can say, well, here I am. You can judge whether I'm good or not for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're just moving into maybe a different tradition of how to approach that. But I agree with you very much that artists need to take a very active role in creating that new culture. And you are creating it. You're teaching me, you're teaching everyone.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say. I mean, I agree with you. I think that other genres of music, it's very common for the artist to explain what they're playing and why and where it came from, and to speak from their heart. And maybe that's because it's more original music. Maybe it's folk music is original songs, for example. But in the jazz industry, I mean, they all talk about what the composer was doing, what he was thinking. There's that human element, and I think that's how people connect to us. And maybe that's why classical music can be so distant, because it's got this serious aspect where the human part of us isn't really open to be shown. So if the artist can speak freely from their heart and connect to the audience through story, through explanation, through their own interpretive thoughts about the piece, that helps the audience connect and understand why this piece, how is it written, why should the audience know about it? It's our job to teach the audience about it.
Oh, this is wonderful. It is our job to come on stage and to share what we learned and why we are attracted to music enough to even, make it a profession, make it our...
Exactly. Daily. Why do we do this? Why do we spend hours behind our instruments? I just performed a concert 2 weeks ago with Jules Baton, the clarinet player here, and he had this wonderful American composer, and he explained to the audience that he had heard a concert with one of her symphonies and was so enthralled that he went digging and found that she had also written for clarinet. And then all of a sudden he's got the whole audience's attention. They know what to listen for. They know what they're listening to. And he had them just captivated. And I thought, this is how you connect with audiences. You explain the why behind the decisions of the pieces.
I agree with you, yeah. Musicians need to share their human side, because as humans, we most value and most long a human connection. And just being connected to abstract music without any real tangible connection to a person is much more difficult, challenging, and even unnecessary.
Right. And coming back to the museum analogy, I personally always get the audio tour where they explain to you every piece of work, and they say, this is what it means, because I don't know. I don't know what the symbolism is from that era. I don't know what the color use is or the figures. And that very much helps me. And I am an artist. So imagine someone who is not familiar with our world coming to a music concert. How much more does it help them for us to explain what's actually going on?
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the prize? Your company is sponsoring a really valuable prize for one of the finalists of Sound Espressivo competition.
We are thrilled to offer this. Yeah. So we're launching our new membership program called Fast Forward. And this is a monthly membership for musicians building careers. And essentially, it's a longer version of the Mastermind, where participants will come in for group coaching calls, discussions, and also accountability on the goals that they are executing currently.
Can you slow down, please? They come for coaching, discussions. So they are building a community right there within that course which you're offering.
When the pandemic started, we had 2 main pain points from our target audience. It was loneliness, so isolation, and not knowing the why behind what they were doing anymore. We were hearing this over and over from people, I feel lost or I feel isolated. So the purpose of the Mastermind, the Fast Forward group, is to bring people and say, there are people like you all over the world, very similar to this competition, what you're doing, bringing all the jury together, the participants together. As you said, it's global. There are people like you all over who have the same limiting beliefs or the same thoughts about art or the same questions or concerns about how to build a career in 2021 in the middle of a pandemic. And when we get together, we can come up with some really beautiful ideas and solutions to make sure that we're not limiting or capping ourselves in any way. The second part of the Fast Forward is execution. So a lot of times we have really great ideas and we end up sitting on them because we get stuck. And we don't have someone calling to say, how's it going with what you said you wanted to do? Because a lot of us are our own bosses.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So you follow up with people who made some decisions to produce something, and you just keep up with them and help give them support. Can I sign up, please?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be honored to have you. Yes.
I want that. I want people who will check up on me.
And say, how are you doing? Where did you get stuck this week? Here's someone that I can call that would help you. Here's an idea. Oh, I talked to this guy. He did it this way. I mean, there's no reason for us to all figure this out on our own. We don't need to start from scratch. We can learn from one another. It's the power of community.
It is a power of community, Michelle. This is incredible words. And as musicians, especially as pianists, we're so used to expecting ourselves to do everything from A to Z by ourselves.
Exactly.
And a lot can be done by one person from A to Z, but a lot more can be done when the energy of community is gathered.
Absolutely. And in terms of energy, it's wasted if you have to start from scratch every time when someone else could quickly show you. Success leaves footprints. So if someone else has launched an album, you can go talk to them. How did you do it? How did you promote? What lessons did you learn? How would you do it differently? After each session, we do a feedback session with the participants, what went well, what went less well, just to help us reevaluate for next time. How are we going to continue to improve and grow that every time we get on stage or every time we come into a session, we're being contributions for each other, and we're listening really well to find solutions faster.
Amazing. So what would you say the age group this prize is most appropriate?
So our target audience is people who have finished at least their undergrad, maybe in a master's, but they're really focused on building the career after the school studies are finished. Depending on your master's degree, of course, you might be able to join us early. We do have one participant in Mastermind right now who's studying still, but she's very focused on what's coming after these 2 years in her master's degree, which we think is fabulous because the sooner you start planning, the better.
Now, what about younger students, let's say middle school, high school, or even middle school, who are already interested in building a career as musicians, and they're already performing, already participating in many competitions? Would they benefit from learning, or do you have a program for parents or something to guide people through? Because a lot of times, parents are seeking answers to questions. They're seeing, glorious performers with millions of followers and viewers, and they're seeing their daughter or son aspiring to be on stage and be visible and be able to share their talent, and they're scratching their head and going like, how do people do that?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Currently, we don't have something like that, but I can definitely see in the future how that would be very necessary and possible. Once you have multiple people needing the same thing, it's very easy to connect each other and say, here we go, let's do something beautiful together.
I hope maybe for the Sound Espressivo 2022, you will develop something for parents of younger students. Maybe not students themselves, but for parents.
The parents, that's really interesting. Parental support is so necessary, and that's a great idea.
Oh, absolutely. A musician is raised by a village, that's for sure. And parents are really instrumental, and a lot of parents are trying their hardest to do the best and not always accomplish what they aim at accomplishing, just simply because they need more guidance. And the music world is specific. It's not easy. The experience from other fields are not easily transferable. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, and you don't always know what you're getting into or what to expect. And how intense it can be, and how much structure there needs to be in the home for the child to be able to practice, and the importance of good teachers and good instruments, and commitment, I think, is something that parents need to be aware of, the importance of that.
Yeah, and guiding their children, of course, through career aspects of it, because the world is opening, and younger great musicians are able now to step on professional stages too.
I mean, one thing I can think of immediately is I see a lot of young kids on Instagram whose parents run their social media accounts, and I think that's a fantastic way to start supporting them, getting them exposure, finding other like-minded people to, if you see someone else signing up for a competition, then you can quickly learn information this way. And I see lots of great kids playing, and the parents are all doing that. So that's a really great way to support from the beginning.
Amazing. I knew even if I throw an unprepared question at you, you are going to have a great advice, Michelle. You're a fantastic source. I didn't think about it, but you're right. There are parents who are doing something right, and this is something how we can all learn from each other. I would like to hear one more piece of your performance. You're such a beautiful pianist.
Thank you so much.
I want to point out something about fears.
Please.
You're a fabulous, accomplished pianist, and you're performing. For a lot of musicians, I believe there is a fear if I do something for myself career wise, maybe I'll lose the edge of being a creative.
A creative.
Have you ever heard about that?
So what you mean is, to clarify, the business side of music then takes away from the artistic side.
Exactly.
Right. So my answer for that is, how would you like to pay your bills?
That's a good answer.
If you want to be able to do this, you have to have some practicalities behind it. So I've heard that before, that we don't want to, I don't want to say my fee because it's about the music. It's like, well, do you want to keep playing the music? Because then you need to eat. So you can either get a 9 to 5 and then be exhausted and not have time to practice, or you can learn how to set your fees, have money conversations with potential people who want to hire you, maybe create some offers, promote them online, learn a couple other skills like social media and marketing and branding. And then maybe you're going to be able to earn enough money to actually do this full time, which is possible.
But I have a personal question.
Yes.
You were not always in charge of your career. You were, at one point, not even thinking about it.
Right.
Since you changed your approach to life and to all those aspects, did you feel there's any change in, did you have any repercussive effect on your playing?
That's interesting.
And if so, what it was?
Yeah. Meaning negative.
Negative? Well, I don't know. Maybe you had positive.
So
whichever that effect was.
Yeah, before I kind of took the bull by the horns, so to speak, I was hiding out of fear, basically. So again, just not having the website, not posting photos or pictures, videos of my playing, worrying about being judged by people that I consider to be incredible artists, all of those things. So if anything, once I became more open and starting to like coax myself into being seen, I think my playing has improved because, with the recordings that I do on Instagram, it forces me to have immediate feedback. I listen back immediately. I think, oh, I like that. Oh, this can be something different. And it's given me kind of a space to try new things in a safe way where there isn't a lot of pressure. So with that, I think that it's improved. Also, I just got way more concerts since I started really promoting myself. So of course, that's forced me to play with a number of wonderful artists who have really enriched me. Again, like working with a number of string players in the last year. I've learned so much from them. And if you don't find these opportunities, you just lose these learning opportunities as well. So
absolutely,
that would be my answer.
That sounds like a very encouraging and inspiring answer. So you didn't lose your gloss of a creative artist. You didn't have to be sitting in a closet by yourself to stay creative. You actually were enriched and empowered by becoming more open, becoming more vulnerable, and putting yourself out more.
Yeah, and I'm definitely a people person, so I find a lot of inspiration from hearing people's stories, hearing what they're doing, what they're working on, how they view things. So for me, I can translate that back into my own work. Just watching someone succeed is the best inspiration to bring that into your own practice room, because you think, if they can do that, then so can I. How can I make this happen? And I love that team, that tribe aspect of being an artist. And I would say that it's greatly helped me.
Wonderful. Michelle, it was just such a joy to have you on this program. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your aspirations and the feedback, because you're ahead of many other people who are just considering to step on that path. So you already accumulated what we call it data, right? Of what happens if you do this, what happens if you do that.
Right.
And now we know what happens. You put yourself out, you get more opportunities to perform, you get to meet incredible musicians, you get to learn from them, be inspired and enriched, and become a better musician.
Absolutely, which is what we're all striving for.
Exactly. It's been absolutely wonderful. I'm very grateful for your time, for your willingness to come and share yourself. And with that, I'm going to thank our audience. Thank you very much for coming on our show. Please comment. Please come again. We have more wonderful, interesting people who will come and share their stories and their wisdom. And I want to also thank very much History of Music channel, which is providing us with this opportunity to share our programs with a wider audience. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate it. And last but not least, thank you, our team of Virtual Concert Halls, and today's director, Ante Božet-Kudrić, who is a pianist and a composer and the director of today's show. By his magic hands, you were able to see us and the music and all this other information which we offered to you. Thanks a lot. Have a great Sunday, Michelle. I know it's late where you are.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can't wait to see you at the judging competition.
I'm so looking forward to it. Thank you for the invitation.
See you. Bye.
Okay, bye everyone.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.